think we need to talk. So, hey guys, as most of you guys know me, I am Husker, but I'm mostly known as Spirit. This is long overdue. I've been trying to ignore it and trying to move on with my life, but people are still talking about it, and I feel like we need to talk about it. So, there is a doc about me, a second one, that is being made by Anonymous. I don't know who. Me and some of my friends tried to find that out. We were unsuccessful, so we don't know who it is, but I'm here to address the rumors and here to address basically what is in the doc currently and what is happening. Before I start off this video, I'd like it to be known that I am a person who makes mistakes. I am a person with anger issues and I lash out, which is not an excuse. I am a person with ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, hypersexuality, all of that. This is all not like trying to make excuses for myself. This is just to say that I am a person who should be known of these things. And I deeply apologize if you have been hurt by my actions in the past, or I have messed up in some sort of way to make you hurt this year. So, without further ado, I would like to talk about this. So, first off, the first doc that was made on me was back in 2025 by one of my exes, and last year was not a good year for me. I was a horrible person. I can agree with that. I was horrible. I hurt so many people, and to this day, I still regret it deeply, and I have apologized to as many people as I can, and as many people who are willing to hear my apology, and are willing to not block me and listen to me. So I have apologized to the people as of now, and I am currently still working on my issues in therapy and with my IRL people and working on myself. So I am getting better. I have gotten better since last year, and I am still trying to. First, I'd like to make known that last year I was 13 when the doc came out. I was a stupid kid. I was a horrible kid back then, and I shouldn't have done a lot of things. And a lot of them will be known in this doc, and they will bring up some of my actions from last year, and I am here to address them again. So it starts off saying this document is purely for the fact that everyone forgot what Spirit did, and I'm tired of it. This doc is a whip. Since it is a whip, I most likely may make another video once it's fully done, and I will address more things, but for now I would like to address the things because a lot of people are DMing me about it, and I think it's just to address it now, then wait on till later. So here I go. So first thing the doc talks about is kin types and misrepresentation of the fiction community. I'd like to start off and say that it's entirely possible to have as many kins as Spirit does, but here's why he's in the wrong. You can tell that these are just characters Spirit enjoys in general due to the way they're announced. They usually come out right after a new show or consumed a new media. For example, all of his friend group somehow kins all of the main 6. Yes, I spelled it like that on purpose, from MLP My Little Pony. I doubt it's a coincidence. Also, sorry for the sound my TV made. I just turned it off. He makes his kin types into aesthetics like they have no purpose. It's painfully disrespectful to the fiction kin community, and thus, not to mention how he stated in one of his stories that he was going to go through and edit his kin type list. Screenshot. This is basically what I said. Yes, I know that I have a lot of kins, but mostly to keep track of them myself. I'm going to reordering them and editing them soon. If you're going to be a fiction kin, you shouldn't judge other fiction kins. You know who you are. Stop stalking me. Stop talking about me. Be a mature adult. You're almost 18. That story that I made was firstly about a person who continues, my TV just made it sound again, I'm sorry, about a person who continues to stalk my stories, including me and my friends. This person still kind of does that and still talks about me and my friends. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to bring another situation to this video I'm making, but that's to be known about what the screenshot was. The reordering and editing them soon that I said wasn't about like I'm going to remove some of my kins from my kin list. It's about how basically I edit my kin list sometimes to put like, I put GIFs on them or I put new fonts on them and make them more to my enjoyable preference. That's what I mean by editing and reordering them. Like, for example, I reordered and edited my kin list, which means I put new fonts on the kin list, I put new music to match it, I put new GIFs to match it, and I also, I think I did a new font, like not a new text font, but I also did like a new picture font and reordering them. And then reordering basically means is like putting them into categories. Like first I did Husk and Striker, which is hell of a verse. Then I did Poppy Playtime, which is the Poppy Playtime, universe. Then I did like, I think I did My Little Pony. So they're all in categories so I can see them on my kin list. And editing them is basically like, I have a lot of kins. I'm sure all of you guys know that. I have at least like, I think 50 something kins now. All of them hold a special heart, like a special place in my body and how I feel. It's not just like a strong connection, it's like I identify as them all. I know that's really confusing to a lot of people who have only like 10 kins, but like it's not because a new media came out. That's something I'm also going to address right now. It's not just because a new media came out. It's not because of that. Usually I've, like, for example, I saw Hoppers and I thought I kin Mabel, but I found out that I just relate to her in a way. So again, I might find out later that I don't connect to a certain character in a way, or I don't identify them in a certain way, and that's totally okay. It's totally okay to find out that you're a different kin. So I'd like to formally apologize on my part if I confused anything with the wording and what I said. This isn't to edit or, remove all of my kins. No, all of my kins are like a deep part of my identity that I value very much, and that will never change because I identify as them in every certain aspect of my life. They're not just aesthetic, as they said. It's not just that. It's how I feel and how I identify as them. And I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that, but since this is a video explaining, I'm going to explain that now. I'm sorry if I, just made people confused with my wording. I apologize on that. I am a person who can't type well, so I apologize on that. Then more on this. Also, considering the rate he's getting these kins at, yes, it's possible to get a kin quickly, but he was getting a new kin every day at some point / kin farming, one near every day to every other day. I feel like it's quite strange how fast he's getting these kins, especially at the rate they were at. And again, I'd like it to be known that a lot of my kins, I might see that like, oh, I think I identify as this character, but I find out that I might just relate to them. Like one of the characters I'm questioning right now, Isaac from Heartstopper. I've been considering him for quite some time when the show came out. But I just made it known on my page that I'm considering him, like questioning him finally, like deeply, but I think it might just be like how we relate in an Arrow-Ace spectrum. So I don't think I'm actually him. I think it just correlates to my Arrow-Ace spectrum. So that's another thing to make note. We're going to another section. Thanks to one of my dear mutuals, we discovered all of Spirit's accounts through a provided screenshot from Spirit himself. He had one account that nobody knew about. On this account, his kin types were not the same kin types he actually had. In fact, he kins characters he asked Double not to interact with. If he actually hated doubles for those characters, if he actually kinned them, that is, why wouldn't he address it on his main account that he dislikes doubles? Horrible behavior on his part. The fiction kin already has so much misreputation. And then there's just a screenshot of all my accounts. To address this, again, sorry for the stuff in the background. It's a house, it settles sometimes. I'd like it to be known that I have a lot of accounts, and most of them I make known of. My Cody on 4Paws, I think, is my fursuit account. My main account is, well, my main account. And then I have a private account that a lot of people don't know about, but it's mainly just like for my personal use, and it's about, my family. It's basically all of my personal info. So I usually don't share that, but basically I gave this screenshot away to someone who said like, oh, are you making the Dog Day a stock? And I said no, because I'm not. And I showed them a screenshot of my accounts. And then somehow that screenshot got passed around, and I was afraid that would happen, and yeah. So I rebranded some of my accounts, only my private account actually, because I don't want people finding out my personal info, and that's just me. And then the one about the different kins, I'd like to formally apologize on my part. I made a account to basically find old mutuals who blocked me on my main and that was horribly messed up on my part on Instagram, and I am so sorry. I knew it was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done it, especially because it's invading other people's privacy and just very badly on my part. I formally apologize, and I understand I shouldn't have done that. And the kins on there are basically just all fake and decoys, but I deleted that account. You can't really find it anywhere. It's gone, and I'm sincerely sorry for that. I shouldn't have done it, and I don't care if you forgive me or not. I'm just saying that was on my part and my mistake, and I shouldn't have done that. And then the whole 18 plus interaction is another topic I was so mad about. It got brushed over so instantly. Spirit tried to cancel someone who was 18 plus, but the person was in the wrong. They just thought Spirit was cool and followed him without checking out his bio. So I'm just gonna quickly run over this because it's not that important, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I just feel like it's dumb. I was dumb. I've apologized to the person again and again, and I feel like we shouldn't keep bringing this up because we're both done on both parts. Basically, I'm saying a bunch of gibberish, saying how this person has not safe for work art, and they shouldn't follow me because I have an 18 plus, do not interact unless I interact with you first. And that was horribly messed up. I definitely understand that if you see someone cool, some people don't check the bio before following. That's my mistake. I usually always check bios before following, and if I find out they're like, oh, minor do not interact, or like this, then I immediately unfollow them. So that was my part. I didn't know, people didn't check bios, but now I do know that. Like I should have known that back then, but I didn't. And I apologize again for that and what I did. And I understand that it was, messed up for me to cancel them. Especially the cancellation video or beware I made about them is extremely bad worded. I deleted it like a minute after last year. So like it was horrible. The whole situation was just a bunch of immature things. I was immature. It was bad. It was just bad. So I'd like to humbly apologize again for my actions because I understand that a lot of people don't check bios before following or liking someone's post, and I totally understand that, and I was wrong. I was in the wrong. Suggested content, this one irks me a lot. It's not necessarily problematic, but it's more on the lines the fact that he shouldn't have social media. Spirit used to post suggestive content, which he knew he was doing, then got mad when sexualized. Alright. This is a thing that correlates to my hypersexuality. Not an excuse, I know. And I was, again, a messed up kid back then, and I wasn't going to therapy. I wasn't talking to anyone who knew, like, hey, you shouldn't do that. No one really, I had a lot of friends back then who told me, like, oh, it's okay to post that. Oh, you're fine. And I thought it was okay. And I understand that now that it is not okay, and a minor shouldn't have posted suggestive media like that. The suggestive post was basically just like me showing my stomach and, sticking out my tongue and, like that kind of stuff. Like, I understand that was incredibly immature. Sorry, my throat is incredibly immature, and I shouldn't have done that because, like, I was a minor. I still am a minor. I'm currently 14, and that's just horrible to do, and I understand I shouldn't have done that. And also, I wasn't mad that I was sexualized. I've been sexualized my whole life, so I'm kind of used to it by now. I was mad that, I was frustrated that a lot of people were like, oh, you shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I was upset. But I still understand that it was messed up to do, and I shouldn't have posted that kind of content when I was at such a young age, and still am. I understand that I do not do that anymore, and if I see any posts on my page that are still up from back then that are suggestive in any way, I will try to delete them as fast as possible. So no other minors or people who see that think it's okay to do that. And I never want to do that again, especially on my part. So again, I'd like to formally apologize for what I was doing back then. I did not know, and I know now, and I'm not going to do it ever again. All right, getting to the IRLs now. Spirit has apparently 17 IRLs. They said that basically all of their kins are IRLs. Not saying you can't have many IRLs, but some people need to understand that there are different types in the community, sympaths and fiction kins. Spirit clearly doesn't know the difference between IRLs and fiction kin shifts. He described how a fiction kin shifts sounds in his story. Sadly, we don't have screenshots. He described as suddenly feeling Jay's wings. That is not how the IRL identity works. A simple Google search would have helped Spirit. You know that. First, I'd like to address the 17 IRLs. I haven't counted my IRLs. I don't even know how many I have. I don't have as many as my kins. And also in the screenshot that was provided in the doc, I said basically all of my do not interact ones. I did not say all of my kins. I said all of my do not interact ones. I have figured out, I have made a list on Google Docs and still am, and on my fiction kin lists and IRL list, that none of my do not interact ones are IRLs, and that's totally okay. And I understand that a lot of people, only have 3 IRLs or 4 or 5, and not many people as me have that many IRLs. And I understand that it might be confusing for a lot of people to feel in real life of a character like myself. So I'd like to say that Again, as I stated before, a lot of my kins I know now that I'm still figuring out, still questioning, and some of my kin list I'm still questioning, and that's okay. And once I figure out if I'm them or not, I might likely remove the story or delete it, and that's totally okay, because to this day I'm still figuring out if I'm, Striker, or if I'm freaking Alistair Gator, or any of my kins, because figuring out is fine, and a lot of fiction kins go through that. For a short time, I didn't know what IRL and a kin, was, and what was the difference. A lot of people explained it to me, and I know better now of basically what it is. And I understand that when I was figuring out, like, oh, basically all my do not direct ones, I was definitely wrong at that time, and I shouldn't have said that. And I also said in the screenshot, let me check. So that basically means I was checking if some of my do not direct ones was, IRLs. And I still, to this day, I'm still figuring some of my IRLs. If you go on one of my kin lists, it says, on some of the highlights, questioning IRL, because some of them are questioning, and I still don't know. So I apologize if I confuse anyone with that. I'm definitely still figuring out my identity to this day. I definitely know that a lot of my kins are comfort kins. So yeah, and I'm definitely going to re-update my highlight soon. Maybe a couple weeks later after I post this, because I want to put like comfort kin on some of them so people know. And a lot of them bring me comfort more than identifying as them, so I should make that known. But again, I'd like to apologize if I confuse anyone on this, because I know I confuse a lot of people sometimes, and I word my stuff really wrong. So I apologize for that, and I'm gonna do better on my wording next time, and I understand that. And the Jay's Wings part, basically, IRLs and kins can have phantom shifts. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that. Feeling Jay's Wings is basically how I felt phantom shifts of wings, and a lot of people feel that, and I feel like some people should do some research before putting stuff in the doc. I'm not trying to, be mean or anything. I'm just saying maybe do research yourself before, saying that. Again, not trying to be rude, just spreading information. And yeah. And then there's some screenshots of basically saying, what if I'm questioning someone for hoppers, and finally considering a warrior cat killer character. So I've been reading warrior cat books for basically all of my life. I'm a warrior cat kid and have been since I was really, really little. I was happy, so I put on my note, finally considering a warrior cat character, because, I'm happy to be considering one. And I found out that I can, at least 3 characters from warrior cats. I think one of them is a comfort kid, though. And I think that's really cool, so I was excited, and I put that on my note. And then the one from Hoppers I explained before, I thought it was Mabel. I'm not, I just correlate to her in a way, but it's not again. And then manipulation impulse. He would randomly block people and unblock people without even telling them what they did, making other people freak out. Or if someone kins one of his characters, he'd get overly aggressive about it and block them, and then randomly unblock them like absolutely nothing happened. So basically about this is I do block people randomly, and I'm sure a lot of other people do that too. A lot of people I would rather block than talk to them, because usually I'm uncomfortable with that. Sometimes I talk with the person, but talking with the person doesn't always seem like the right thing, and it turns into an argument, and I don't want to turn it into an argument, so I'd rather just silently block them and move on with my life than have a big argument before ending things off. So I'd rather act in, a little just disappear or ghost them than talk it out, because I don't want to get in an argument. Most of the people I block, I've gotten in an argument with, and I don't want that happening again in the future or now. The randomly unblocking people part is, I can agree if people have noticed that. Sometimes I unblock people to see if they've, unblocked me. Some of my mutuals I used to be friends with, I've unblocked because I want to see if they posted anything about me, if there's anything on their do not interact list, and usually it's to see if they just post anything about me that I need to address. And I understand that can come off in a stalking way, and I can agree that I might be a stalker online sometimes, and I think it's good that these people, whoever they are, pointed this out, and I apologize, and I shouldn't just randomly unblock people, and I need to work on that myself, because I understand that it is messed up to do, and I need to work on it. I need to talk to my therapist about it. I need to just talk to people about it, because I understand that it is messed up. It can come off in a messed up way, and I should work on it, definitely. So I apologize for that, and I'm going to work on myself more and try to not do that anymore. Then we have, he would rather post reels and stories about drama and things than that are happening, then rather go to the person, talk with them, and handle the situation. He makes other people's look problematic and turn other people against them. Ergo, he probably shouldn't have such a large platform if he acts purely on impulse. He makes the drama go out to the public and manipulates people's friends against them, making them lose that friend. Wow, okay, I'd like to talk about this. So basically, I don't post reels about drama anymore. I don't really do that. I used to do that a lot last year. I don't really do it anymore. Usually if I post things about drama, I usually post them about the situation to spread, you know, more information out and, you know, just talk it out on the internet. Again, I don't like talking to people sometimes because I don't want it to turn into a big heated argument, because most likely if I talk to them, it's going to get put in this doc, and I don't want to just put more information into the document about me. So I'd rather just talk about it, you know, online to spread information. And I understand that a lot of people might not agree with that, and I could understand that. So again, I don't post about things about drama anymore. I try not to. If I do, and I understand that later on, like, oh, I probably shouldn't have posted this, I delete it. And I understand that I usually act on impulse. I can definitely agree with that. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree with that, honestly. And a lot of people act on impulse. And again, that's another thing about myself that I need to work on. And I definitely think that I post a lot of reels that are messed up, or like vent posts, gonna get onto that later, that are messed up, and I should delete them. So yeah. And then White Tigerist on Instagram informed me that Spirit convinced them and pressured their partner to break up with them. I will provide proof if any comes up. So basically, I did not do this. I did not pressure anyone to break up with each other's girlfriend. I'm gonna name... I need a fake name for them because I don't want to bring them into this situation. So White Tigress and James. Gonna call them James. White Tigress, I'm gonna call August because that's their name. August and James basically were together for a short amount of time. And I used to be friends with August, but then I found out they used to do a lot of weird things that made me uncomfortable. I'd rather not share them online because I don't want to share everything online. And as days went on, I stopped being friends with August slowly because they made me kind of uncomfortable in a way. And then also I found out shortly after that they are 12 and interacting with my page, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know that my page almost on all of my accounts is 13 plus. I don't want people 12 or 11 or 10 interacting with my page, most likely because I'm uncomfortable with those ages because of past experience with younger people. And I know a lot of people may not believe this, but not only are predators dangerous, also little kids, like 12-year-olds, make me uncomfortable deeply because of friends I've had in the past that I'd like not to share. So when I found out August was 12, I tried to slowly not be friends with him anymore, and I blocked him because I felt like very uncomfortable and I didn't want to do this. Now, James and I are very close friends. We're like besties at this point. And they came to me and said, hey, I might break up with August. And I was like, oh my god, okay. And I supported them. Sadly, I don't really have any screenshots. I'll try to dig in any and place them here as I talk. But basically, I said, you know, on call, like, hey, I found out that you might be breaking up with August. I'll be here if you break up with him or if you don't. I definitely supported James. Like, if they wanted to break up with him with August, like, I would be there for them. Of course I am. But if they decided not to and stay with him, I would still be there for them because they're my friend. Sadly, I don't have any screenshots of this. Again, if I do, I'll put them here. But that's not, like, I'm not pressuring them to break up with August at all. No, that's not the truth. I'm saying that if you're gonna break up with them, I'm gonna be here for you. If you plan not to break up with them, I'm gonna be here for you. It's not just a one-way road. And then basically when James was talking to August about, like, hey, like, I'm gonna break up with you, basically, you know, James mentioned me once in the conversation. I'm pretty sure something like, oh, Spirit helped me talk to you about this. And then August immediately went off and said, like, oh my god, like, he pressured you to break up with me. And then he made a bunch of videos basically saying me to that one friend who made my girlfriend break up with me, and made a lot of videos that were really immature about me. And I didn't do any of that, and I feel like that's really immature on his part. especially because it's just messed up. We don't do that. And I certainly don't really do those videos either. I used to do them, you know, call people out on my past, and I don't do that anymore because I realized that was wrong. So, August, that's really wrong, and I don't think you should have done that. Another thing August did when James broke up with August is he went around still saying like, oh, I'm still together. Yeah, it's okay. Like making Ben posts about James and saying, oh, people would comment on his posts and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry this happened. And he's like, oh, it's okay. We're together now. Even though they broke up like 2 weeks ago. Not actually 2 weeks. Like this was like a month ago. And like, oh, it's okay. We're back together now. Even though James and August were definitely not back together. He would also keep up posts of them together, basically just relationship posts. He still does. He hasn't deleted them all, which I think is really weird, especially if the person has broken up with you. Like, I have been broke up several times, and usually when a person breaks up with me, I try to delete all of the posts as fast as I can. And if I can't find them all, if there's anyone reaching out to me just saying like, oh, this is still up by the way, I try to delete them because I don't want thoughts of my ex. But August didn't do that, and they still went around saying, oh, it's okay, we're together now. Oh, it's okay, we're together now. And I thought that was really weird. I'll put any screenshots in this conversation if I have any of August doing this. Another thing I'd like to make known, I think there's another thing. Oh, is the, acting on impulse. So, I'm gonna put the screenshot here. Basically, sorry, I had to take a drink. My throat really dry. So basically, screenshot here. Someone, KillKit, I think, made a video about me. Not a video, a post about me on their story that was basically like, oh my God, like, you shouldn't do this. Like, this is incredibly immature to post. Like, you don't even know what SA means or how to feel about it. Like, you don't even know what SA feels like, which was really bad. And especially if you don't know if the person's got SR8 or not, that's horrible to say. And the post I basically made was basically a vent post about how in my past life as Husker, Angel Dust abused me and raped me and did a lot of horrible things to me in my past life, which also correlates to my real life, like this life, because I'm gonna name now, I have been raped. I have been raped and essayed and abused in this life as well. And I think that also correlates to my Husk past life, especially because I connect with him so deeply. I think that like leaks into the other universe as Angel Dust. So you don't even know what SA feels like or what rape feels like. I do know what it feels like. I have been raped before in this life, and I think that's incredibly immature to post. I can agree that I have deleted all the posts on all my platforms about the little event posts because I can agree that was incredibly immature, and I shouldn't have posted that to the big world of my followers. And I can agree that I should have thought for a little while before posting that, especially because it was recent, and I shouldn't have done that. I actually thought about it before posting it, but I didn't think too much about it, so I need to work on that, my impulse thing. I've said that before, I need to work on it, because obviously I work on impulse. I do it on impulse, and I think that's really messed up of me, and I need to work on that. So, I'm sorry if I didn't address everything in here. I went to the bottom of the doc. I think I addressed everything, but I don't know. I'm sorry if my breath was shaky or if you hear any background noises in this video. I really try to edit hard and try to edit the background noises and my words and everything before posting this. And I'm sorry. Here's my final note to the people who are watching this video, and to anyone really who I've had a bad past with or I'm friends with still. I'm a horrible person. I have messed up in more ways than one, and I think that a lot of my friends know that, and I know that I need to work on my issues before posting things sometimes. I'm sorry that I ignored this for a long time. I just needed to gather my thoughts before talking this long, especially because I think it's almost 30 minutes. I'm sorry to anyone I've hurt in the past or as of now. I think I really messed up, and I still do to this day, as we can all agree. A lot of this in the doc was a lot of misinformation, but a lot of it was most likely true, and I cleared it up. This isn't an apology video. This isn't gonna be to please forgive me. No, it's not anything like that. It's to make awareness and post information about me before people actually know the real me. I am a person with feelings. I'm a human. I make mistakes. And I think that I messed up really badly. And I'm sorry. I apologize for anyone who I have hurt. And I really hope that some people will actually understand my side before judging quickly. I deeply apologize for my actions and what I've done. I am going to be taking a break, probably a week later after this video is posted. Probably for at least 2 months, because I need a little mini break. I am so sorry to everyone. I know I keep just repeating my word sorry and over again, but I am so deeply sorry. I am so deeply sorry, and I understand that I've hurt a lot of people. To the people out there who still hate me after this video, go ahead. Go live your life. I think you shouldn't waste your time talking about me. Live your life to the fullest and what you can do. I love you. I love you all, guys, and thank you, guys. I'm probably gonna go now and post this. I love y'all. Spirit out.